evening and welcome. On the show tonight, the actress who became an international star by playing Sergeant Pepper Anderson in the TV series Policewoman. The cop who any red-blooded man would like his collar felt by. And she is Miss Angie Dickinson. Another of my guests is also an upholder of law and order, but in the world of animals. Because of her series on television, she's become something of an institution, and she is Barbara Woodhouse. Now, they say that when you're really famous, someone writes a song about you. Well, Barbara Woodhouse has reached that state because the Barron Knights have written a song of praise to her, and they'll be singing it later in the show. But first, an old friend of mine and the programme. He started life in the Glasgow shipyards, was raised on a diet of strong ale and curried porridge, and has become a top-selling record artist and entertainer whose unique brand of outrage has made him both a star and a hero to millions. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Connolly. We've got the Glasgow Mafia in there, mate, tonight. All those people who won't be allowed at Wembley.
Oh, well.
That's sad, is it?
I know, I've been barred from Wembley and the rest of my nation. Although I can see the point.
You can?
Yes, I can. Wembley last time, I had a really bad time myself from lunatics, and you know, because you were sitting beside me.
That's right, it was a bit hairy.
Yeah. He came as my guest, you see, and he came in a Barnsley scarf. But there were some real animals, and I don't blame the authorities for... They have to do something.
Yeah.
Right?
But I wonder if they'll keep them away. I mean, they'll get tickets in any case,
I think the
they?
possibility is that the only guys you will get are the loonies. They don't care much. So you say don't come, they all just line up. I mean, that's an encouragement to them.
Yeah.
But do you remember a guy came up to me in the street, all covered in tartan, and he said, "Hey, Connolly." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I hope you die soon, you bastard." And I thought, oh yeah, you'll do.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of guy.
And you see some funny things too, don't you? I mean, the odd. I mean, we were at that game, and there was a guy walking around. He just got a box around him.
Yeah, this guy had a cardboard box and a pair of braces walking up. That was all.
Let's look back at the year that you've had, Billy, because you've had what could be termed a mixed year, I suppose. You had 3 plays at Glasgow were slated, weren't they?
Yes, it was started very badly. I thought I was incredibly ill-treated by the press.
Did you?
Well, you get a lot of sort of criticism. I think a lot of them get mixed up between sort of criticism and sort of, you know, the attacks were too personal. They get straight home, you know, the whole bit. And I was really hurt, terribly wounded.
What about the panto? Because it seems unlikely Billy Connolly in a panto. That was cancelled, but was it to be a different kind of panto?
It was going to be a sort of punk rock, ridiculous panto.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I had a spider called Rover and all that. We're going to put him up in the ceiling, you know, and I was the baddie, Captain Demento. And we'd give them all baddie bags of marshmallows so they could pelt me every time I come out. And in defence, I would go, "Get them, Rover, and lower this spider." I wanted to really frighten the children and get them singing songs the way a panto should be, instead of that sort of thinly disguised variety show where the people must get their act in at all costs. You know? But now that I am all alone, I think I'll play my xylophone. Glenn Daly, a comedian in Scotland, Glenn Daly, told me he used to sing a song called "Old Scotch Mother Mine." And he was in Aladdin, and one of his great lines was, "I may be the king of Siam, but I'll never forget that old Scotch mother of mine." Oh, Scotch mother.
You also, what to me anyway was the most interesting thing that could have happened to you, that didn't, was that you had a TV show lined up, and the pilot got turned down. Because I've always thought, you know, that you should do something on television apart from appear on my show.
Resident Parkinson show.
That's right. Well, that's not about.
I don't really know what happened. I was frightened to go and see the guys after it. It felt great on the night, but I felt myself, first of all, that the material was a bit strong for telly. I thought it was funny.
Yes.
But I think maybe somebody panicked at the last minute. They said, "Look, if we're going to put it out, it'll have to be 3 in the morning to a very select audience." I want people who are blindfolded or something.
What was the subject of the show that they objected to?
Well, the whole thing was about advertising, and we collected a whole bunch of different kinds of adverts. But my favourite, what was his name? Mandingo. I saw it advertised in a magazine, Posers Briefs.
Posers.
Posers underwear. It was a big pad at the front. And they were called Mandingo, so we sent away for a pair. His shoes. You know what what I was saying to the audience was I couldn't work out. So the guy buys his Posers briefs and puts them on and ostensibly poses somewhere. Now, if it has the desired effect, he's going to get himself a certain type of young lady and he's going to take her back to the room. How's he going to get his Posers briefs off? Without her falling about on the floor and going, ah, look at that! But the lovely thing was, directly under that advert, the Mandingo thing, there was a wee advert for reconditioned boiler suits. And I wondered if it was the same company, the guy got to his work with a boiler suit. So we did all that, but I think it was a bit over the top, maybe. I don't really know, because I was frightened to go and talk to the guy about it.
But you don't really consider yourself, do you, as a kind of performer who comes across well on television in that kind of show?
I don't mind talking about it in the telly, like talking to you and stuff. But I don't see myself as a television entertainer. It's just, I'm not that kind of guy. You know, and you get your guests and come out and do 3 songs and tell a funny story. I admire the guys who can do it, but it terrifies me, the whole thing. I'm essentially a live act. My entire career has been live.
Yes.
And I think I should stay that way.
Yes.
I'd love to do things like Rowan Atkinson and Mel, you know, not the 9 o'clock newsboys, with other people maybe. Do a sort of review situation. Maybe I'd be good at that. But I don't want my own show.
Well, what about all the criticism that you took during the year about various aspects of your work? Did it really sort of make you turn inward and consider what you were about? Did you ever feel, for instance, at one point that they might be right?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I was hammered really quite consistently in Scotland by about 3 or 4 guys in the Scottish press, and it really got to me. I thought, well, geez, maybe this is it. Maybe it's all over. I didn't think I'd gone on any kind of dip, but I thought maybe I'd reached a sort of plateau and was going to be like a show business guy, you know, invited to dinners for charity and all that. Oh no, I couldn't stand that. But then I got not the 9 o'clock news thing, and we had a great time with that. And the film came out, Secret Policeman's Ball, and then I did Edinburgh Festival, and it was a huge success, a monster, sold out in seconds. And I thought, hey, hold the phone here. It's all right. So we're doing this British tour, and it's sold out, and I love it.
Yes, you sold out quicker, in fact, on this tour than
I
any
sold
other.
quicker on this one than any previous one.
Yeah, and that kind of, I mean, with the success of the tour and working live again, that kind of reaffirmed your faith in what you're doing today.
Yeah, yeah. I really started to believe those blocks. I mean, some of them were even openly lying about me, saying that the theatre wasn't full when it was full and stuff. I cannot see the point of that. But I think the guys, the 3 in particular who were doing it, are sort of aging hacks who are in their middle 40s and know they're going no place. Very fast. They smell the ashtrays, they come into your dressing room, drink all your drink and puke on the floor. I don't care what they say.
What about the Edinburgh Festival? Because that was a very big success for you, as you said.
Huge.
But I just see it's a very curious of counterbalance between you and the more exotic figures at the festival, you know, some literary
Darling.
figures, you know, the actors, yes.
Yeah. Darling, caught the show, loved it. And then they get the theatre wrong, they weren't there at all. And the other ones who get bunches of pamphlets from the all around it, and then they don't go and see the shows, but they study the pamphlets, they know who the director is, the actors and that. They can talk about it in the winter. Caught it that show at the festival, you know.
Yeah.
Wasn't that directed by Majinski? Oh yeah. Load of rubbish. But most of the festival's great. I love Edinburgh Festival. And I always hang about in the Traverse Theatre. It's a sort of, it used to be an experimental theatre. It's a very small place up a stair. And it's a great bar, and I hang out there and meet all the lads. And occasionally you get a wee Glasgow working class guy sneaking in because Edinburgh Castle's just up the road, and a lot of guys from Glasgow go to see the tattoo, people all marching about and stuff. And they occasionally wander in because it's a late licence, and they always zone in on me. They go, hey, what's this? Oh, the darlings are hanging about, you see. Oh, the big one's in, we're okay. So they get up beside me. How you doing, big one? I'm okay, fine. Hey, Bill, are they poofs? Who? There's people here with the funny clothes on. No, they're just actors and things, you know. Oh, I thought they were poofs there for a minute. You're not a poof yourself, Bill, are you? No. But some of these guys are at the end of the world if they found out I was homosexual. What? Connolly's a poof. It's the end of the world. And I love Edinburgh Festival.
You also, you've called this tour of yours now, you called it the On Your Bike Tour. And in fact, you literally did that this year, didn't you, as well?
I did.
You go on your bike and you cycle, what, 200 odd miles for charity?
That's
not like you, is it? I mean, not doing charity work, but cycling 218 miles is not like you.
Not like me at all.
No.
But the idea was so crazy. It was a variety club said, would you like to cycle from Glasgow to Inverness? And I was like, yeah. And then they all walked away and I thought, God, what have I done? So I went out and trained and it was lovely. For two reasons in particular. One is I forgot how nice Scotland was. At the speed you're cycling, you can see it all lovely and you can smell it. And it's a beautiful place, Scotland, lovely smells going through the countryside. Plus I'd forgotten how generous Scotsmen can be. Because it got massive publicity. And there was people lying in the streets holding out money like that as I was cycling past, you know. It was lovely. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We made £13,000 in 4 days. Okay?
When you're on this tour now, how many tours have you done now?
I can't remember.
It's a lot, isn't it?
7 or
But
8.
do you feel that you've changed yourself as a performer?
Oh, yeah.
In what sense?
Well, I heckle the audience now.
Well, I was going to that.
That was the only way out of it. So I go and say, shut up and enjoy yourself, okay? And they all sit down and then I got on with it.
You like Barbara Woodhouse too, in a sense. I mean, you do tell them when to go to the toilet and not, don't you?
That's right.
Well, yes. Yes,
Well, I tell them that the show's on for 2 hours, there's no interval, and everything that moves is mine. No. With people doing a runner, I turn around to get my guitar, boom, they're crawling back. It's really funny when it's that.
Now, I was talking to Bob Hope actually last week, and he was saying, I mean, he's 77 now, been in the business for forever, you know, and he was saying that he had genuinely a library of 7 million jokes, which are for every occasion, filed, card indexed and that sort of thing. Do you work that way?
Never.
You don't?
I can't remember jokes very well. I just tell daft stories and things. I love it. I really do. I've never indexed anything. I don't have a list anywhere. When I go on stage, I have a list of the subjects I'm going to talk about, and that's all.
Yeah.
Just a headline,
Yes.
skeleton thing.
Yeah. Well, do you have a one from your current repertoire?
Aye. Well, I don't really use it very much. It's the worst joke I've ever heard in my life.
The worst joke?
By far the worst. And it's about 2 onions who fell in love. And, they were in a grocer's shop and they fell in love in the wee onion bag, I suppose. And they were out together for a wee while, and then they got engaged, you see, these onions. And then they got married and they bought a wee bungalow. And a year later, a baby onion appeared. To their great delight. And the father onion was working really hard to keep the standards up for the baby. And one day, he was away to his work, and the mother onion was washing the dishes in the sink, and the baby onion was playing with his Lego on the floor. But Mummy Onion had left the door open a wee bit, and the baby onion saw it and shot out the door as babies will. And he was looking at the world, and he crossed the road, and a truck came along and knocked him over and flattened him. And it's a liberty, isn't it? And he was rushed away to the hospital where they operated on him for 7 hours. And his father onion was pacing up and down the waiting room. And the surgeon came out after the 7 hours, sweating, pulled the mask off his face. And Daddy Onion says, "How's my boy?" He said, "I think you better sit down, Mr. Onion." He's not, no, he's going to live, but I must warn you, he's going to be a vegetable for the rest of his life.
That is a terrible story. It's really awful.
That is the There's an even worse one going about the oyster. About the oyster that went to a discotheque and pulled a muscle.
Enough of that.
Enough of this.
Enough of this, yes. One other thing you do on your show, which I've never seen you do before, and I've seen most of your performances, you play a lovely instrument called, what's it called, an autoharp?
It's an autoharp, yeah.
Yeah, which is something new, I think.
It is. Well, I've been playing it for years, but I didn't take it on stage before. Well, I did in my early career. I'll show you.
Yeah.
This is it here. It's a sort of 36-string breadboard. or the tomato slicer of the future. It's a lovely thing. It's for the Appalachian Mountains. And
Play something.
aye, I'll play a wee tune. This is a wee tune I wrote for Youth of Joyce, of whom I was desperately fond.
Were you?
Yeah, I didn't know the lady. I just thought she was amazing.
Yeah.
Used to have me rolling about in the carpet. So this is a wee tune. It was a wee. I wanted to write something kind of touching when she disappeared. So this is it. The only thing is, you know, to play it, I got my nails done, get false nails stuck on, and it looks a bit weird, but it makes a nice noise. I had to go to a shop called Female Adventure in Glasgow. Really? Sit in the window, having it. But it's really worked well. I feel strange, but it sounds good.
Yeah. Billy, can I finally ask you, going back to this thing about your career, George Melly's written an interesting book called The Media Mob, and he's made a very and he's a fan, and he's made a very interesting observation, saying that you're an interesting point in your career. And it says the show business establishment, with a grin of false bonhomie on its face, holds its arms wide open, ready to crush the revolt out of him. Naturally, certain doors remain closed, so he can't do his act on TV. He's unlikely to be asked to do a Royal Command performance, but does he want to? We'll see. The pressures are insidious. His early admirers, jealous perhaps that they've lost him to a wider audience, claims he's already compromised himself. Will he remain intransigent?
I don't know what intransigent means. Sounds okay, eh? They're probably right. Everybody's right. Wait, you see this? This is magic. I think he's dead right. A lot of people believe that I've lost a lot of my revolt, but I believe that I'm still revolting, and will always remain so.
What is this that you have? I've not seen this.
It's a wee invention that was given to me as a present. Wait, I'll show you this. Because the only bad letter I ever got, the only criticism I ever got from doing this show was from a lady who said, saw you in the Parkinson show and you were very good, but why, oh why did you have to smoke? I'd lit a cigarette, the only time I've ever lit a cigarette in telly. So this is a present. It's a Turkish cigarette holder. And you know what it's for? It's for smoking in theatres where you're not allowed to smoke. And they can't, it's in a wee box, and the guy can't see the glow. It's revolting looking. I'd rather smoke. Oh, Mrs., you were right, I shouldn't be doing this.
I think you'd actually better put it out before Barbara Woodhouse comes on. Billy Connolly, for the moment, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mike.
Now, when my next guest was voted top TV personality last year, it quite renewed my faith in awards. After all, she's not your normal television personality. She's 70 years of age for a start and does nothing more glamorous than a modest little program about training dogs. And yet, a cult figure. Her instructions to dogs and their owners have become catchphrases. She just published her autobiography called, not surprisingly, Talking to Animals. Ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Woodhouse. She told me to sit, and I did. Well, I mean, there we are, you see. I mean, all these words of yours, as I say, they're now become catchphrases with people. Do people say them to you?
Oh, wherever I go, it's walkies. The other day I went to London Airport to go to Guernsey, and the pilot passed me. He asked for my autograph very politely, and then he said, "Walkies." I said, "I hope not."
How do you react to this?
Oh, I love it. Wherever but I think it's awfully dangerous because lorry drivers sort of lean out of their cabs and say walkies and then hit the bollards, you know. I think it's really dangerous. It's tremendous fun. I mean, I've not ever sort of felt this before. I mean, I've been doing things for a long time, but
yes.
I mean, wherever you go, I mean, if you go up the moving staircase, somebody's going down the moving staircase and saying, "Walkies!" And then I get to the top and the ticket collector says, "Sit!" I really love it. It's tremendous fun. And if I'm giving fun to them, because, I mean, everybody laughs. I don't know what's so funny about walkies.
It's just the way you say it, though.
I don't know about that, but it's certainly given me pleasure, and if it gives other people pleasure, let's go on saying it.
Well, I think that's the secret of it, you see. I think it's the secret of your success. You're so unaffected, and you unaffectedly enjoy what you do, and that transmits. As Bill was saying earlier about you, it's this enthusiasm, is it not, that comes over?
Well, the fun is to be able to say whatever you like, and people simply call you formidable or eccentric. I don't mind. I'm sensitive. Doesn't matter whether I'm either, does it?
No, it doesn't, indeed not. The last programme that we had together, when I talked to you, Barbara, you made a plea for the mail to cease at that time. Now, has it ceased?
Oh, no. No, I still get hundreds and hundreds of letters in a week, and it's terrible, really. So please, owners, don't ask me about your dogs. I'd love to help you, but I really can't write. I can write as cramp. I've been told to stop writing, but they go on coming. I came home from Glasgow 2 days ago, and there were 68 letters waiting. So I wrote them between 7 and 10 o'clock at night and then collapsed in bed.
Have you had any unusual letters, though?
Oh, yes. Oh, I have lots of unusual letters. I had 10 pages the other day, and it was all complaining about the person's, I thought, family. Her husband was all wrong, the beds were all wrong, the children were all wrong, everything was all wrong, and the food was all wrong. And by the time I got to the last page, I wondered when I was getting anything about a dog, and it was signed, "Yours faithfully, Sam the Whippet." And then I got another rather one that I hope doesn't come true. An elderly lady from Salisbury wrote to me and said, "I've got the vilest corgi in the British Isles. It bites me, it bites everybody who comes to me, and I'm approaching 70 and I'm making my will and leaving it to you."
Now, the other nice thing that's happened to you, and this is real fame, in fact, is that there's been a song made about you.
Oh,
Yes.
the Barren Nights.
The Barren Nights. You've heard it, haven't you?
I think they're gorgeous.
Do you really?
Oh, yes, I
Oh,
think.
that's nice.
But
What?
I'm not quite sure they've got the word "sit" right. So I'm going to let them have one of my LPs, Training Dogs Her Way.
I see, all right. Well, then, we've got them here in the studio. We can all make that assessment whether it is sit right or not. The song, in fact, is called the Sit Song, and you try saying that quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, the Barren Nights.
No matter what the breed, to make you do the things you say, shake them with your lead. You give it a jerk, then let go, it will soon obey. You'll frighten the poor thing to death, but only if you say, "Sit." There's a good boy, to rock the lead, walk away, turn around and he should stay. Sit. There's a clever dog, call him to you, nice and loud, and tickle him under the chin. What a lovely dog, what's his name?
Nigel.
Off you go then, walkies! Now you may have a dog that barks when the dustman comes, or takes a fancy to the postman, especially his thumbs. But I have got a little word that I can recommend to prove the well-known phrase that a dog's a man's best friend. Sit. There's a good boy. Drop the lead, walk away, turn around and he should stay. Sit. There's a clever dog. Call him to you, nice and loud, and tickle him under the chin. How am I doing? Okay. Now I get many letters about slippers that are torn. On one poor man, he blamed his dog for patches on the lawn. I even knew a police dog who lost his sense of smell. But the little things do anything, but only if you yell. Sit. There's a good boy. Drop the lead, walk away, turn around and he should stay. Sit. Mrs. Barbara Woodhouse would end it. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You really enjoyed that, Barbara.
Oh, I did. The only thing I want to know is, did the front row get the spit?
Don't mess with the pros, fellow. All that apart, all the trappings of the fame and all that that's happened, what's really pleased you most about the success of the program?
Well, of course, being able to spread the gospel, you know, about dogs. I mean, there's a horrible sort of anti-dog thing going on now in the media, and it's quite unfair. It's only the owners that are awful. If the owners get trained, I'm afraid I think anybody who saw my series would know that I pitched into the owners. I did pat them and praise them when they were good, the owners, but they weren't always picking it up quite as quickly as the dog, you know. I mean, the dogs learn instantly. The owners just take a little longer.
They're a bit dozy, rather.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but they seem to get a bit frightened of me. I don't know why.
No, I can't imagine why either. But is it therefore, would it be true to say that dogs find it more difficult in 20th century living, the strains and stresses, the same as owners do?
Oh, it's terrible these days because people go to work, leave their dogs all day at home, and the dogs, the newest idea now is stripping the wallpaper. They go out with their house properly wallpapered, they come back and there's nothing on the walls at all. The dogs have stripped it off. I don't know why, but this seems to be the in thing with dogs. And, I mean, they've tried tearing up the car and the carpets and the kitchen doors and that sort of thing, but now it's definitely, they're wallpaper fiends. But it's easily, of course, stopped by putting them outside and giving them a shelter. Why are they left in the house? It seems awful.
Do you support a theory that I've got? I mean, you've got a lot more experience of dogs than I ever have, but it seems to me that dogs do take on their sort of physical characteristics of their owners, or vice versa. Would you say that's true?
You see, dogs know their owners by smell, so I hope the owners don't take on the characteristics of their dogs. But I think that when you get somebody who lives with a dog a lot, I mean, I always remember with my Great Dane, she learned to smile by wrinkling up her eyes. And I've always wrinkled up my eyes from a child, is a sort of habit, you know. And she copied it, she really did. I've got some lovely photos of her eyes wrinkling up, so I think they watch your face. But I'm not sure that they have other characteristics, because I've never known a dog go down to a pub and have a pint.
Do they react then, therefore, to a different social background? I mean, is a Glaswegian dog, for instance, likely to be different to a dog born in Kingston upon Thames?
Well, I came from Glasgow yesterday, I hope so. No, dear. Glasgow is lovely. I got a lovely fat kiss from a lovely fat woman in the middle of Glasgow. I don't know what the street was, but she was absolutely adorable. I'm going back to the second cheek, the other side.
Oh, good. I used to know a dog in Glasgow when I was a boy in my little hometown, Partick. This dog, it used to follow you in front of you.
Yes.
Yeah, it would walk and it would sneak looks. And we used to dive in doorways and it would stop and look around. And you come out and it would walk again. Silliest dog I ever knew.
But you like dogs, don't you?
I've got 4, yeah.
You got 4?
Oh, that's lovely.
My little dog, I've got 3 Labradors and a mongrel, but the mongrel keeps eating my chickens. Yeah. Dives on them and savages them. And the guy told me a great thing to do is to hold your dog's head at the chicken run and put the chicken feed on its nose and let the chickens peck him, you see. I thought that sounds horrific, but I tried it and it ate one of my pigeons after that.
I don't like your methods.
I thought they knew what they were talking about, you see.
But that's how they used to train dogs to rat, though, isn't it, Barbara? That's so they, you know, dogs to catch rats. I remember a butcher in Yorkshire once telling me they used to put the dog in a barrel with a wire mesh around its face and then feed the rats in the other end. So the rats bit the dog's nose. Really? And from that point on, of course, it was a rat killer.
Don't want to hear any more horrid stories.
All right, we'll talk about something nice. but going back onto the thing about taking on people's characteristics, do you think that, Billy?
It's absolutely true. Twice in my life I've been to a dog show. I actually went to the dog show because I wanted to buy a bloodhound, and I went to see a real one. They're a lot bigger than I imagined they were, bloodhounds. And I was astonished. There's a bit where the people have to, when they're showing dogs, they have to do a run. But because all dogs are, the people actually run like the dogs. Like, can I show you?
Yeah.
There's a bulldog runner, he'll run like that. but the dogs beside him, but my favourite was the Afghans. They run.
I think the funniest thing is to see an enormously fat judge try to get down and see if a chihuahua's nails are cut properly and look nice.
Yeah. Another thing, why do human beings get the prizes at dog shows? I think the prize dog and the prize bitch should be left alone.
Can't answer that.
Cutting the street and on.
No, Barbara, it's not just dogs, of course, that you have a way with. You can communicate, can you not, with most any animals?
Yes, well, I think it's all a matter of telepathy, you know. You see, animals don't go up and chatter to each other, do they? You pick up what they're thinking by telepathy. And now recently I'm off on another scheme, one for the BBC, you know, another film, and I'm going to see how many animals, wild animals, that I can find that answer to the Guarani Indian trick that I brought over many years ago, breathing up the horses' noses. And I've discovered so far that it works with at least now 5 more wild animals. I'm not going to talk more about it because I'm going to do a program on it, but I think that all these animals and birds and everything else have their own language, and if only we could really find out what it is, I can't see that they could ever be called dumb animals again, because they're not. Their eyes, you know what they're thinking by their eyes, you know what they're thinking by their actions, and I thought that, especially on my series, the dumb animals were, of course, the humans.
Yes, that was quite apparent. But without telling us or preempting the series, in fact, of course, you have done work before with wild animals, haven't you?
Yes. Oh, yes.
What kind of wild animals?
Well, I didn't work with them. I happened to be on a tour, with, you know, a cruise and a tour in a town, and I went to the Abuka Rainforest Reserve, and the hyenas were all free in the reserve, and I used the voice that I always use for animals, which, curious enough, I think works. I think it's a voice that really attracts animals. I said, "Come along, come along." And all the hyenas came up one by one, breathed up my nose, laid their heads on my chest, and lay down at my feet. I had 6 at my feet, and they were obviously pleased with it. And then I went up to a reservoir, and a praying mantis ran out on the concrete. I'd never seen a praying mantis before. It looked like a locust. And the people wanted to photograph it, so jokingly I said, "Stand still and I'll train it for you." And I said, "Sit and stay and sit up." The thing looked at me flabbergasted. It sat up. And I said, "Bring your feet up higher." And it did. I got a photograph of it. And then they said they couldn't photograph it on concrete. Would I pick it up and put it on one of the white coats of the men? So I did. I picked it up and put it there. And I again gave it the command to sit up and higher. And he said, "And I've got the most gorgeous photo." So it shows that you really can train praying mantises if anybody's got one.
You're the answer to the Scottish soccer problem, aren't you? You're going to go and train their supporters and get them sitting up.
Yeah, well, I think sitting down.
English supporters aren't too clever either.
I think the Glasgow supporters should be sit down, not sit up.
Well, what about the empty West Ham Park and all that? I mean, come on, Michael.
Fair's fair.
Well, I met some of these supporters the other day on the tube. They were all smoking in a non-smoker, so I thought I'd try my dog training on them. Yes, it was, and I went round and I said, "Put it out, put it out."
And did they?
They did, every one of them.
They did. You're a very brave woman, Barbara, I
No,
tell you.
I'm not. I think they're much less dangerous than dogs.
You mentioned the word there about the telepathy with animals.
Yes.
Do you have the same telepathy with human beings?
Oh, yes. You see, when I used to run weekend courses for dog training, I never advertised. I used to send out what I called a think. And within 24 hours, I would have the right number. They would all pick it up. Anybody who was telepathic, I suppose. I didn't know anything about it. They all wrote in the following day or phoned, and the course was full next day. This is true. And then one day, I wanted to arrange a cruise with a lot of friends. You get a free ticket if you take 25 people on a cruise. So I sent out a think for one of the Thomas Cook's couriers that I'd only met once. And he didn't answer the think. But the following morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning, the telephone rang, and he said, I don't know why I'm ringing you, but I think you want to talk to me. I said, yes, I sent out a think, and would you please come and help me? I want to arrange a cruise. Now, wasn't that funny? He'd been abroad. He said his ship had only landed that morning. This is perfectly true.
How do you mean put out a think, though? I mean, what do you
just think about what I want. I mean, I want my friends to ring me. It saves the telephone bill, so I send out a... This is absolutely true.
You're kidding me, Barbara.
I am not. This is gospel truth. I send out a think, within 10 minutes they ring me. And my phone bill is quite reasonable.
I found out now why you've got such a big audience for your television show. You just sit down and think 6 million people and they all sit on your show.
Well, no, not really.
Do you have an effect on machines? Can you...
Oh, it's deadly. Do you know, twice I have warned people, it's a miracle your things are working, don't come any nearer to me. Tape recorders stop instantly. Directly they come near me, they stop. And the girl from Glasgow the other day came down from the newspaper in Glasgow to interview me, and I warned her not to put her tape recorder near me. She said, nonsense, I've interviewed hundreds of people. And she put it on the arm of my chair. It slower, and stopped, and she never got it again. And then somebody was interviewing me again from quite an important newspaper. She brought it near. I said, I don't want it near me, keep it away. Now, have you ever heard of this? This is true. What do I do? So, I'm not allowed to mention the names of papers anyway, but it was a girl in this magazine. It's Annabelle, but I expect you know it. And she rang me up the other day to interview me, and she said, can I bring an engineer? I said, whatever, for the plumbing? And she said, no. I hear you stop tape recorders. And she did come with an engineer, but he kept it away. He had some sort of microphones near me, not the tape recorder, so it was all right. But it's something that if they come within about a yard of me, they really stop. Now, how can I do something about that?
You can't, but I mean, what is it? Do you know?
No, I've no idea. Absolutely no. I just wondered whether it was the same sort of something electric or something that is interesting to animals. I mean, this is scientifically interesting to me. Why should I stop a tape recorder? The number of times I've been on a film set and stopped the cameras is innumerable. They kept saying Samuelson's where they'd hired were the rottenest people they'd ever met, and I knew it was me.
One of on the reverse side of all that's happened to you is, of course, you've now become public property in the sense that the newspapers write about you and comment on you and this sort of thing. And I suppose there've been one or two critical articles of you which you've objected to.
Oh, yes.
What's been the most unkind thing that's been said about you?
I don't know. I think it's so much I can't remember where it was nice. But I mean, the main thing is they lie. This is what gets me down. They put it in inverted commas as if I'd said something. Well, I did have a go at one the other day through my solicitor, and I won, and I bought I made them buy a guide dog, so that'll teach them to be nasty to me, won't it?
Didn't someone make some comment about the size, about your dress size?
Well, yes. Am I allowed to mention names?
Yes, please do.
Yes, Jean Rook. She wrote an article and said I was size 18 and enormous and goodness knows what, and Benny Green at Punch said that I was an amorphous mass. And then the editor asked me to lunch with Prince Michael the next week. I said, I'm not going to have an amorphous mass sit next door to Prince Michael. I think it's very rude, especially as I'm not size 18, and I cut the Marks and Spencer thing out of the back of my jumper and sent it to Jean Rook. Size 16.
Size 16. She obviously needs training, Barbara. I think that's the message that comes across loud and clear with you whenever we see you on television, that you are of the opinion that all of us, animals and humans, need training.
Well, you know, lots of bitches bite.
Well, we'll think about that for the moment, Barbara Woodhouse. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. You stay there.
Yeah.
My final guest started life as a shorthand typist, won a beauty contest, became a TV chorus girl, and was given her big break as a film star opposite John Wayne in Rio Bravo. It was a television show which brought her to real international stardom. The show Policewoman, in which she played Sergeant Pepper Anderson. She plays a much different part in her latest film, Dressed to Kill, or as someone call it, Undressed to Kill. It's taking fortunes in America, and it's likely to do the same here. In the film, my guest plays the part of a frustrated woman who picks up a fella, spends the afternoon with him, and is on her way home when she realizes that she'd left her wedding ring in his room. She goes back to collect it. It proves a fateful decision. Well, it's not real, it's only make-believe. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Angie Dickinson. I saw the movie. It's very, very interesting. I mean, I must say I didn't much like the violence was a bit too graphic for me. I didn't mind the other bits that other people objected to. I mean, the guy called it Undressed to Kill.
I read that several times.
Yeah, I bet you did too. It's an obvious one, isn't it? Did you have any qualms, though, about doing the part?
Yes, I did. It's never really fun to be naked, physically naked. Sometimes it's worse to be mentally naked and emotionally, I suppose. But a long time ago, I accepted that I would just have to do it if it called for it. But I'd always rather not.
You would? You know, there are some rather explicit scenes in there with you and a couple of fellas. I mean, what do you do in a situation like that? Did you lean back and think of America, or what?
Most of you haven't seen it because it only opened here a couple of days ago, but one of the scenes is in a taxi. No, I didn't think of America at all. I just thought, how ever to get this day over.
Right.
It was difficult. The problem with that is the scene happens in the back seat of a taxi cab. And we were in New York, really, in a taxi. And if you picture a car, you know, the slant of the back window is like this, but the buses are up here, and the buses can look right down the back window. And so all the tall trucks and buses in New York saw me, what they thought was being seduced in the back seat of a yellow cab in New York. And it was the hardest day of all, because I was so embarrassed.
Yes, I bet you were too. Mm-hmm. How, in fact, how much of you will be left in the movie? Because you're in it, sorry, about 20 minutes, aren't you, at the top?
Oh, at least.
Yeah, well, about that. But how much will be left when finally the film comes around to be shown on television? Because there's not really much of you that can be shown, is there?
No, you know, I don't know if you people are very aware, as I wasn't for till recently, that often you get cast in a picture, as I do, since Policewoman, because part of the money comes from one source, and the other part comes from the television company that will buy it.
That's right.
To put on television later. And so my agent said, you know, and we should get so much for the television sale later. And I said, but Merritt, I won't be in it.
Right.
So I'm not sure I deserve anything for that part. there'll be a lot without me in it. So
Yes.
they better go see it now. It's a good picture. That scene, clip that you just saw, that you showed, was the typical kind of thing that Brian De Palma did, the director. He just wanted that little girl to look at me. You know how we all, most of us, when we've done something and somebody can look at you and
That's
you
right.
think they know just what you've done. Of course, they don't at all. But we build it up and we're sure the whole secret is out. And I thought that's the kind of uniqueness the film has.
Oh, he's a very, very good director, of course. He's made a couple of marvelous movies. But, I mean, and it obviously tributes to Hitchcock throughout the film, except he goes beyond where Hitchcock left off. And that's really, I suppose, if I have an objection, it's only my own sort of, I don't like seeing people's throats slit on screen and that
I
sort
think
of
you
thing.
have every right. And I don't think he was influenced by Hitchcock, there's no doubt. If there was no shower scene, I'm not sure you'd be comparing it that much to Hitchcock.
Well, the lift scene, we'll go off this in a minute,
All
because we're
right.
talking about film buzz, but the lift scene itself, that's pure Hitchcock. The silence and the way it builds and the music and that sort of thing. It really is. But let's talk about Policewoman.
Most critics said that.
Yeah, but let's talk about Policewoman for a while, because by comparison, I mean, that was a very different role, wasn't it, to the one you're playing?
Oh, yes.
Totally different.
Oh.
Do you get sick of it?
Sick of Policewoman?
Yeah.
No. I really enjoyed it. It was difficult. I got tired doing it, but not sick of it. I actually would have done another year, but it had run its course, and my contract was up, and I was tired. And I wanted to get on to something else. Things like this and other movies. It's difficult to only do one character for 8 or 9 months of the year.
Did you want to be a movie star when you were a kid? I mean, were you a movie fan?
I was a great movie fan. My mother told me often that in catechism class, more than in school, they would ask what we wanted to be, and I would say, I'm going to be a movie star. But I think I gave up aspirations at about the age of 9, and then I tried to copy every hero that I saw in the movie. Not tried to, but imagined being whatever I had just seen in a movie.
Every hero?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Mostly the men,
Really?
oddly enough.
Like who?
Gary Cooper and Humphrey Bogart. I remember wanting to be a priest after Keys of the Kingdom.
Gregory Peck. What about, do you ever meet any of these people? Did you meet Bogart?
I met Humphrey Bogart. I was quite new, about 2 years into the business, and met him. And he was wonderful and fascinating, devilish and unique, and great tease, as many of you have heard, and that is quite true. He'd say, look at this, I'm going to get them started. And he would really get an argument going, just to get something hot. Gary Cooper I met, oh, so beautiful. And Gregory Peck is a dear friend.
You met a lot of men, actually, in your life, haven't you?
Oh, yes, I'm so lucky. I'm so glad I'm a girl.
So the men. I mean, your name's been linked with Sinatra, Dean Martin, with 2 of the Kennedys.
Well, now, I only had one date with Dean Martin. It was so much fun, though, that it might as well be mentioned. I didn't stop laughing from the moment he picked me up. He really is he's a sweet, lovely, funny, marvelous man.
What about the Kennedys?
Oh, I've been friends of the entire family. Still am. Love them deeply. The ladies and the men.
Which did you
Ethel
find the
and
most
Steve.
attractive of the men?
Oh, they're all unique. You know, I think you noticed that, don't you? That each one has his own personality. Quite totally.
Now, what about leading men that you played with? Because you did 3 movies with a man who was a guest of mine only 2 weeks ago, and that was Lee Marvin.
Isn't he a riot? He's he's something else. I love to just hear him say hello, that voice. He's he's very helpful. When he wants to be helpful, he's very helpful. I read he was drinking tea in London.
That's right.
And that's very nice to hear. I don't want to see him drink too much.
Didn't he drink tea when he was acting
No,
with you? He didn't.
No.
He didn't.
No. something like hot chocolate or something. And he is so divine when he doesn't drink, and I think he's trying not to, because he really is, and he's so... I'd like to do a romantic film. I've done 3 films with him.
And they've all been thrillers, haven't they?
They've all been killers.
Killers, yes.
Yes.
Right.
He noticed the first one was The Killers, second was Point Blank, and this third one will not continue to be called Death Hunt because it's just a bad title. But he said, don't you think it's time for a change, for a romantic title with us? But I like to see the rough men do the romantic things. Like I loved hearing this one over here play that sensitive auto, is it auto harp?
Yeah.
It's so wonderful to see the contrast.
It's the mixture between the thug and the saint, you know, that's what
You shut up, the lady's chatting me up.
Sorry.
But
you pull them all, don't you? You did Lauren Bacall. That's right.
Easy.
I fail to see the fascination myself, I really do.
I have difficulty myself.
Barbara, if you had a choice between me and Billy, who would you pick?
Well, I'm accustomed to numbers. I think I'd take them both.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'm fascinated by what you say about the telepathy with animals, and it
Do
does.
you have it?
I have it more with humans than with animals, but I speak to them, but I didn't realize it was through telepathy. But I speak kitty talk best of all.
Do you get down to the telephone bills, cheap telephone bills?
No, but I do think to them to call, and I say, you must have picked up my vibes, but
Yes,
it
well,
doesn't work
that's
as often as
Well,
yours.
it is the same thing, isn't it? I think most people could do it if they thought hard enough.
Oh,
You know?
yes. Once I said to my daughter, I don't have time to run downstairs and get Bert and whatever I fixed, scrambled eggs or something. So think, and if he really loves me, you see, he'll pick up my vibes, and he'll be coming up that stairs in about 2.5 minutes, and he never showed up.
I mean, are you...
But it usually works. It usually does.
It does.
You
No,
got
it doesn't,
any
yes.
telepathic powers, Bill?
Yeah, I have. The moment it happened, my daughter woke up screaming in Scotland.
Really?
Yes, that was what I was actually going to talk about.
Because you...
Before I lost his brain of it.
Oh, dear. But you worked in America, Barbara, haven't you?
Oh, yes. I spent 7 weeks there. It was a great time.
In Los Angeles?
Oh, all over the place, everywhere. I did everything. You know, the dinosaur shows, all of them. I have training dogs there, of course. They used to fling a dog at me and give me only 6 minutes to train it. And one person brought an enormous great white Commodore in once, and he says, just bitten the whole porter, but don't mind. And he fed me, but I love it. You know,
And isn't she wonderful to work with?
I like the sort of not knowing what's going to happen, you know. I mean, it's awfully boring if you know what's going to happen. It's like this program, isn't it?
Are Americans different, though, in their attitude toward dogs, Barbara? Do you discern any difference there?
I don't think so. I think the numbers are greater. They've got about 15.5 million dogs out there, and I think they spend a lot of money on their dogs, but I don't know that they're any different to anybody all over the world,
Just
do you?
New York and LA, don't you think? Don't you think in the middle it's about the same or not?
I think so. I don't really think there's any different all over the world, but the main thing is, do the dogs think the owners are different? That's what really matters to me, of course. I always come back on the same subject, don't I? It's the owners that I sort of get at, you know. Well, don't really, but I find the owners in America are very easy to train because they're used to fast talking.
I love your attitude.
Let's talk a little bit, Angie, about you now. You are actually, and this is going to sound awful, whichever way.
You stay out of it.
Yeah, you stay out of it.
I'll go behind this bush.
Yeah. You are, whichever way I say this, it's going to sound a bit sort of clumsy, but you are in great shape for your age. Aren't you? I've seen the movie, I know you are. So, but I mean, how? I mean, do you consciously work at it to keep in trim?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. I hope to keep it for a while, you know, a little while. But I am going to work on dogs in the meantime.
Sorry, Diane.
How old are you? 23?
73.
23?
73.
She's not 23. Are you at that time of life?
I'm in my 40s. That's enough, isn't it? Because we all would like to be younger, but on the other hand...
I don't want to be younger. Oh, Barbara doesn't want to be younger. No. Do you want to be younger?
No. No, I can take a hint. She was getting used to me.
Well, we always want more time. I do, anyway,
I
unless you're bored and haven't that much to do. But I'll never get done what I have planned to do. But I'm deliberately trying to get away from your question.
You are?
I diet a lot.
You do?
Yes, and I run. But I don't. I saw a picture of Cher the other day in a photographic studio. Talk about a body. So I feel like a pig compared to her, really.
Oh, no, pigs are nice.
Well, I feel brown. I don't know how to take a compliment. Thank you for the compliment.
No idea.
I'll leave it at that.
All right, fine. But I mean, you're remarkable, actually. I mean, you're so young, and you're what, 70?
I'm 70, but life begins at 70. I mean, she hasn't started yet.
No, she hasn't. She's a spring chicken, isn't she?
That's a good way to look at it.
I was thinking about you and your actors and actresses you've met. You know, I've met masses because my dogs were famous film stars. They made over 100 films.
That's right.
And I've met the most extraordinary thing. I've seen Clark Gable doing a lovely long love scene sort of on a sofa, and a little boy on a ladder with a blackboard upside with all these words on it, and Clark Gable had to sort of keep looking up. He rather missed the kissing, you know, because he was looking up for his words all the time. And it's awfully difficult if you have an actor who's afraid of dogs. I've been with one or two that, you know, and the dog has to go in and act with them as if they were the master, and the people absolutely hate them or are afraid of them. It's very difficult.
That is,
yes.
because I do think you have to
You
feel
send
them.
out, don't you?
Oh, yes. Do you know Boomer?
No, who is Boomer?
Boomer is a success, not a success, a show in America called Here's Boomer, and he's so beautiful, and he's a little like Benji, except he's so alive that, he's so human that you can't accept that it's just a dog.
Well, he comes when called, Boomerang.
Right.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Now, Mr. Connolly has a musical offering on which to conclude proceedings. I do not know, sir, what you are going to do. What is it?
Song.
A love song.
Yeah. Don't panic. It depends on what you love.
Are you going to dedicate it to anybody?
No.
Oh, thank you.
Tell Laura I love her. Tell Laura I need her. Tell Laura not to cry. My love for her will never die. Well, hi friends. My name's Tommy, and I want to tell you about Laura, my love. Laura was taken from me by God, who wanted her for a very special purpose. I didn't like it at the time because I wanted her for a special purpose myself. Oh yeah, Laura and I were lovers, okay, before she was taken for the special purpose. Oh, we had our tiffs like lovers do, you know, and I remember I bought a magazine. It was called Health and Efficiency. And I read that women had erogenous zones. So Laura came round to the house at night, we were necking on the sofa, and I touched one of her erogenous zones. And she kneed me in one of mine. I'll never forget the day when Laura was taken by God, who wanted her for a special purpose. We were walking down Main Street. We were shopping for Laura's mom. We were looking for a truss and a carrot. Strange woman. Suddenly a child ran onto the road. I said, oh my God, my nerves, and covered my eyes. I'm not too brave, you know. Laura dashed onto the road to save the child, and the child made it to the other side of the road and turned around and said, But a juggernaut came round the corner and squashed Laura. Sometimes I waken at night, sweat running down my face. I can hear the noise of the truck squashing Laura. There was a kind of splat. You know the kind of noise you get when you stick a straw up a frog's backside and blow it. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there was bits of Laura everywhere. There was 2 bits sliding down the post office window. And a big dog ran away with another bit. And with a tear in either eye and a heavy heart, I searched and searched, but I couldn't find the bit I was looking for. Tell Laura I love her. Tell Laura I need her. Tell Laura not to cry. My love for her will never die.
You enjoyed that, did you, Angie?
Oh, very much.
Did that cement the feeling that you had when you first saw him?
That's great. Please come back to America.
Oh, yes, yes. Yes. Do you have a spare bed?
I'll find one.
You'll find one. There you are. Well, that's it then. That's all we've got time for. My thanks to Billy Connolly and to Barbara Woodhouse and to you, Angie Dickinson. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your stay in England.
You.
Success with the movie.
Very much. I love it here.
Good. Well, from all of us here, until next show's on, when is it? Wednesday. Until then, from all of us here, very good night. Good night.
The music business. Their first